The sun was shining brightly over the city's busiest shopping street. People walked along the sidewalks carrying shopping bags or chatting happily with friends. Luxury stores with sparkling glass windows lined the road, showing off expensive clothes, jewelry, and accessories. This was a place where money and beauty met, and where many people came hoping to see and be seen. Among the crowd was Olivia. She was a woman in her late 20s with dark hair pulled back in a neat ponytail. Her eyes were sharp and there was a tense energy about her. Today, Olivia was not here to shop or enjoy the day. She was here because of a feeling that had grown inside her for years, a feeling of anger and pain that she could no longer hide. Olivia's heart was beating fast. She kept looking around as if searching for someone. And then, across the street, she saw her, Vanessa. Vanessa was standing outside a boutique, admiring a beautiful scarf in the window. She was tall and elegant, with smooth dark skin and a calm face that showed confidence and grace. Vanessa's style was simple but perfect: a white blouse, black pants, and a small leather purse. She smiled softly as she turned the scarf around in her hands. What made Vanessa more special wasn't just her beauty or her style. It was who she was, and the wife of a billionaire. The kind of woman who lived in the tallest towers of the city, and whose name was spoken quietly with respect and sometimes fear. Her husband was known for being powerful, rich beyond belief, and very private. People said that Vanessa was just as strong as her husband, and she carried herself like a queen. For Olivia, seeing Vanessa now brought back a flood of memories. Years ago, Olivia had loved a man who was supposed to be hers, but somehow he had left her life and gone to Vanessa instead. Olivia had tried to move on, but the pain never left her. Today, that pain had turned into something dangerous. Olivia's hands were trembling. She took a deep breath and walked quickly toward Vanessa. Her voice was shaking but loud as she spoke. "Vanessa, we need to talk." Vanessa turned slowly, her eyes meeting Olivia's. There was surprise in her gaze, but also calmness. "Olivia," she said quietly, "what is this about?" Olivia's anger spilled out before she could stop it. "You took him from me. You stole my fiancé," she shouted. People nearby started to stop and look. Some took out their phones, ready to record what was happening. Vanessa's face did not change. "That's not true," she said calmly. "I didn't steal anyone. If someone chose to leave, that was their choice," but Olivia didn't want to listen. She was too angry, too hurt. "You lied to him. You used your money and power to take everything I cared about," she cried. The tears in her eyes mixed with anger as she stepped closer. The crowd around them grew larger. Whispers spread quickly. Who was this woman? Why was she yelling at Vanessa? Some people whispered about the billionaire's wife, while others felt sympathy for Olivia's pain. Then, without thinking, Olivia raised her hand and slapped Vanessa across the face. The sound of the slap echoed through the street like a sudden thunderclap. People gasped. Some stepped back and others froze in shock. Vanessa's hand flew to her cheek, but she did not scream or yell. Her eyes were wide, showing surprise and hurt, but also something else, a strong, quiet anger. For a moment, no one moved. Olivia stood there, her heart pounding and her hand still raised. She had expected Vanessa to shout, to hit back, or to call security, but Vanessa stayed calm. Then Vanessa looked around at the people who had gathered. Her voice was soft but clear as she said, "Please, everyone, calm down." Security guards appeared quickly from the nearby stores. They walked toward Olivia with serious faces. Olivia looked around. The bright sun seemed to burn her skin. The whispers turned into quiet murmurs. Her anger was slowly turning into fear. Vanessa took a deep breath and spoke again, this time directly to Olivia. "I don't want this to become a bigger problem, but you need to understand what you have done. This is not just about a slap. It is about respect and control, and I have to protect myself and my family." Olivia's eyes filled with tears. She had never seen Vanessa like this, strong, firm, but not cruel. She felt her anger begin to crack under the weight of reality. The security guards gently took Olivia by the arm and started to lead her away from the crowd. As she was walking, Olivia looked back one last time. Vanessa was standing tall, composed, and silent. Olivia realized that this moment would change everything for her. It was no longer about the man she lost. It was about what she had done and what she would have to face. The air around the plaza felt heavy after the sudden slap. The noise of the busy city seemed to fade into a quiet buzz, as if everyone was waiting for what would happen next. People stood still, watching closely, some whispering to each other, others staring in shock. Phones were out, capturing the moment that no one would forget soon. Olivia was still being held gently by the security guards as they walked her toward a quieter corner near a small cafe. Her hands trembled, and she couldn't stop the tears from falling down her cheeks. The heat of the moment had left her feeling cold and empty inside. What have I done? Olivia thought, biting her lip to stop herself from crying louder. The guards didn't say much. They just looked serious, not angry, but clearly understanding the trouble Olivia was in. One of them, a tall man with kind eyes, spoke softly. "Ma'am, you need to calm down. This situation can get worse if you don't control yourself." Olivia nodded weakly but couldn't say a word. Her mind was racing with fear and regret. Back near the boutique, Vanessa stood surrounded by a few close friends who had rushed to her side. One of them, a tall woman named Lisa, touched Vanessa's arm gently. "Are you okay?" Lisa asked quietly. Vanessa gave a small nod. Her cheek was red where Olivia had slapped her, but she didn't seem hurt, at least not physically. Inside, though, she felt a mixture of anger, sadness, and disappointment. She looked out at the crowd, her eyes calm but sharp. "This isn't just about me," she said softly. "It's about how people lose control when they are hurt. Olivia is clearly hurting, but this was not the way." Lisa sighed. "What will you do now?" Vanessa paused. She had a choice. She could make this bigger, call the police, demand punishment, but she didn't want to add more pain to the world. She knew Olivia was broken and hurting people often hurt others. "I will handle it quietly," Vanessa said. "No public fight, no anger. Just understanding and firm boundaries." Meanwhile, Olivia sat on a bench outside the cafe. The city's noise slowly came back, cars honking, people talking, footsteps moving. But Olivia felt like she was in a different world. The slap had broken something inside her. She thought about the years she had spent loving someone who left her for Vanessa. She thought about the nights she cried alone, the hopes she held on to, and the deep loneliness that filled her heart. "Why did he leave me?" she whispered. Why her? She had spent so much time blaming Vanessa, but now, sitting alone, she began to wonder if the real problem was the man who left. Maybe it wasn't Vanessa's fault. Maybe she had been holding on to the wrong anger all along. A gentle voice interrupted her thoughts. "Olivia." She looked up to see a young woman about her age standing nearby. The woman smiled kindly and held out a bottle of water. "I'm Emma," she said softly. "I work at the cafe. I saw what happened." "Are you okay?" Olivia hesitated, then nodded. "No, not really. But thank you." Emma sat down beside her. "I've been through hard times too," she said quietly. "Sometimes people do things they regret when they are hurting." Olivia looked at Emma and felt a small flicker of hope. For the first time that day, she didn't feel so alone. As the afternoon turned into evening, the plaza began to empty. The crowd that had gathered slowly moved on and the shops began to close. Vanessa left the boutique with her friends, her face calm but thoughtful. She knew this event would be talked about for days, but she also knew that how she responded would matter more than what happened. Vanessa made a quick call on her phone. "Yes, it's Vanessa," she said softly. "Please send someone to check on Olivia. I want to make sure she's safe and gets help if she needs it." She didn't want to embarrass Olivia or cause a scandal, but she believed in kindness and second chances. Later that evening, Olivia was at home, sitting alone in her small apartment. The walls felt too close and the silence was loud. Her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Hi, Olivia, this is Vanessa. I hope you are okay. I want to help you. Please don't be afraid to reach out." Olivia stared at the message, unable to believe what she was reading. The woman she had slapped, the woman she thought hated her, was reaching out with kindness. Tears fell again, but this time they were different. These tears were soft and hopeful. Olivia felt a small warmth growing in her chest, a feeling she hadn't felt in a long time. Forgiveness. The next day, Olivia hesitated but finally replied, "Thank you, Vanessa. I don't know what to say." Vanessa's answer came quickly. "You don't have to say anything now. Just know that help is here when you're ready." The days that followed were not easy for Olivia. She felt embarrassed and scared. People talked about the slap, some calling her reckless, others feeling sorry for her. But she held on to Vanessa's message. Slowly, Olivia started to think about her future. She began to realize that she didn't want to be defined by her past mistakes or her pain. She wanted to change, not just for herself, but to show others that it was possible to rise again even after falling hard. Vanessa, meanwhile, kept her promise. She made sure Olivia received support and counseling to help her heal. She didn't judge her or blame her, but treated her with respect and care. One afternoon, a week later, Olivia and Vanessa met again, not in a public place filled with people, but quietly at a small community center where Olivia was attending her first counseling session. Vanessa arrived with a warm smile and offered her hand. "I'm glad you came," Vanessa said gently. Olivia took the hand and felt a new kind of strength. "This is the start of something better," Vanessa said, and for the first time in years, Olivia believed it might be true. The soft light of the morning sun filled the room as Olivia sat nervously in the small counseling office. The walls were painted a calming shade of blue, and a few plants sat on the windowsill, their green leaves bright and hopeful. Olivia had never imagined she would be here, sitting in a place where people listened, understood, and helped. Across from her sat Vanessa. Today, Vanessa looked less like the glamorous billionaire's wife the world knew, and more like a woman who cared deeply. She wore a simple blouse and jeans, and her eyes were warm as they met Olivia's. Olivia's heart pounded in her chest. She wasn't sure what to expect from this meeting. Would Vanessa be angry? Would she remind her of the slap? Or would she simply walk away, never wanting to see her again? Vanessa spoke first, her voice calm and steady. "Olivia, I want to start by saying that what happened was painful for both of us. But I don't want to focus on anger or blame. I want to understand you." Olivia swallowed hard and looked down at her hands. "I was angry," she said quietly, "and hurt. I lost someone I loved. I thought you took him away from me. But now I realize maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was me." Vanessa nodded gently. "Pain can make us see the world in one color, usually dark. But healing happens when we begin to see the light again. I'm here to help you find that light." Olivia felt a tear slip down her cheek. She had never heard words like these from someone she thought was her enemy. "Why are you helping me?" she asked, her voice trembling. Vanessa smiled softly. "Because I believe in mercy, because I know what it feels like to face judgment, and because everyone deserves a chance to change." The room was quiet for a moment. Outside, the city moved on, but inside, two women were beginning a new story. Over the next few weeks, Olivia started attending counseling regularly. Vanessa made sure she had everything she needed: books on self-help, appointments with therapists, and invitations to community events that helped people in difficult situations. It wasn't easy for Olivia. Some days the pain felt too strong. The memories of betrayal, loss, and loneliness haunted her. But Vanessa's kindness gave her strength. One afternoon after a counseling session, Vanessa and Olivia sat in a small cafe nearby. The conversation flowed gently between them, more like friends than strangers. "Tell me about yourself," Vanessa asked. Olivia took a deep breath. "I was a teacher before everything happened. I loved working with children. They gave me hope even when my own life felt broken." Vanessa smiled. "That's wonderful. Maybe you can teach again one day." Olivia looked down, unsure. "I don't know if I'm ready." Vanessa reached across the table and placed her hand over Olivia's. "You will be, and when you are, I'll be here to support you." One day, Vanessa invited Olivia to a charity event held at the Billionaire's Foundation. The event was about helping young women find education and jobs, something Olivia cared about deeply. Olivia felt nervous walking into the large, beautiful hall filled with people dressed in elegant clothes. She wondered what the guests would think of her, the woman who had slapped the billionaire's wife just weeks ago. But Vanessa greeted her warmly and introduced her to the crowd as someone special, someone brave enough to start a new path. Throughout the evening, Olivia spoke with many guests. She shared her story honestly, about mistakes, forgiveness, and hope. People listened with respect and kindness. For the first time, Olivia felt she belonged. She wasn't just the woman who made a big mistake. She was a survivor, a fighter, and a person worthy of respect. Meanwhile, Vanessa continued to balance her public life and private mission. As the billionaire's wife, she had many responsibilities: social events, charity work, and supporting her husband's business. But she made time for Olivia because she believed in real change. One evening, Vanessa sat in her elegant home office reviewing plans for a new program to help women like Olivia. She believed that with the right support, anyone could rebuild their life. Her phone rang. It was her husband. "How is Olivia?" he asked. Vanessa smiled. "She's growing stronger every day. She's attending counseling and even spoke at a charity event." He was proud. "You always have a good heart. She's lucky to have you." Vanessa looked out the window at the city lights. "We all make mistakes. Mercy is the key to healing." As the weeks passed, Olivia's life slowly changed. She began volunteering at the foundation, helping other women who struggled with their own challenges. She found a new job teaching at a community center, and each day her confidence grew. But it wasn't just about work. Olivia started to forgive herself. She learned that mistakes didn't define her. How she responded to them did. One afternoon, Olivia sat with Vanessa in a quiet garden behind the foundation. The sun was warm and the flowers bloomed around them. "Thank you," Olivia said softly, "for everything. I don't know where I would be without your help." Vanessa smiled. "You did the hard work." "I just showed you the way." Olivia looked at her with gratitude. "I want to be like you, strong, kind, and forgiving." Vanessa took her hand. "You already are." The story of Olivia and Vanessa spread quietly through the city. It wasn't just about a slap anymore. It was about mercy, growth, and the power of kindness. People began to see Vanessa not just as a billionaire's wife, but as a woman with a big heart who believed in second chances. And Olivia was no longer the angry woman who lost everything. She was a symbol of hope, proof that even after the darkest moments, light can return. The early morning sunlight poured softly through the windows of the foundation's meeting room. Olivia sat quietly, her hands resting nervously in her lap. Today was important. She was about to meet a group of women who were also struggling to rebuild their lives, just like her. Vanessa stood nearby, calm and steady. She had invited Olivia to join a special program designed to help women find new purpose, new strength, and new hope. The program was one of many the Billionaire's Foundation supported, but this one was special because it focused on healing from emotional pain. As the women slowly gathered around, Olivia's heart beat fast. Would they accept her? Would they judge her for her past mistake, the slap that had made headlines? She looked at Vanessa, whose encouraging smile gave her courage. Vanessa spoke first, her voice warm and welcoming. "Welcome, everyone. Today we start a new journey, one of healing, hope, and friendship. We are here to support each other, no matter what our past looks like." Olivia listened carefully as the women shared their stories. Each one had faced challenges, loss, fear, loneliness, but they had also found strength within themselves to keep moving forward. When it was Olivia's turn to speak, she felt her voice shake. "I made a big mistake," she said honestly. "I hurt someone important to me in a moment of anger, but I'm here to change, to heal, and to help others do the same." The room was quiet for a moment. Then slowly the women smiled and nodded. No one judged. Instead, they welcomed her with open hearts. After the meeting, Vanessa and Olivia walked together outside into the fresh air. The city's noise felt distant and soft. "You did well," Vanessa said gently. "You are stronger than you think." Olivia looked at her. "I never thought I would find people who understand. I felt so alone." Vanessa squeezed her shoulder. "You are never alone. That's why we build communities, so we can support each other through hard times." The weeks turned into months, and Olivia's life began to change in small but important ways. She started volunteering at the foundation, helping other women who were also struggling with pain and loss. She found joy in listening to their stories, offering kind words and seeing the small steps of progress they made each day. Vanessa continued to guide her, often inviting Olivia to important meetings and events where she could learn and grow. Vanessa believed that true change came not just from healing, but from finding purpose. One afternoon, Vanessa invited Olivia to her home for tea. The house was beautiful but welcoming, a place that felt warm, not cold or distant. As they sat in the garden, Vanessa shared her own story. "I wasn't always this strong," Vanessa said quietly. "I faced my own struggles, People see the wealth and power, but they don't see the lonely nights, the hard decisions, the pressure. Olivia listened, surprised. I never thought about that, Vanessa smiled. Everyone has pain. The difference is how we choose to respond. One day, Olivia received news that surprised her. A local newspaper wanted to do a story about her journey, from the woman who made a public mistake to someone working to help others. At first, Olivia was afraid. She didn't want to relive the shame or have people judge her again. But Vanessa encouraged her. This story is important, Vanessa said. It shows that change is possible, that mistakes don't have to define us. With Vanessa's support, Olivia agreed. The article was published, and the response was overwhelming. People sent messages of support, shared their own stories of struggle and hope, and some even offered to volunteer at the foundation. Olivia felt a new kind of strength, the strength that comes from being honest and vulnerable. But change was not always easy. Olivia still faced moments of doubt and fear. Some people whispered behind her back, and old friends didn't understand her new life. One evening, Olivia sat alone in her apartment, feeling overwhelmed. She wondered if she was strong enough to keep going. Her phone rang. It was Vanessa. Are you okay? Vanessa asked softly. Olivia took a deep breath. I'm scared. Sometimes I feel like giving up. Vanessa's voice was gentle but firm. That's normal. Healing is not a straight path. There will be ups and downs. But remember why you started. Remember who you want to become. Olivia smiled through her tears. Thank you for believing in me. I will always believe in you, Vanessa said. As time passed, Olivia grew more confident and independent. She began to dream again. Dreams of a future filled with hope, not fear. One day she was invited to speak at a local school about her journey. Standing in front of a group of young students, Olivia shared her story honestly, about mistakes, forgiveness, and the power of mercy. The students listened quietly, some nodding, some wiping tears. After the speech, a young girl approached Olivia. Thank you, she said shyly. You gave me hope. Olivia felt her heart swell with joy. Vanessa watched from the back of the room, proud and happy. She had seen Olivia's transformation, from a broken woman filled with anger to a strong, kind, and hopeful leader. Their friendship had become something rare and beautiful, built on forgiveness, trust, and a shared belief in the power of change. Vanessa knew that this was just the beginning. Together, they would continue to help others find light in their darkest moments. Months had passed since the incident in the shopping plaza, the day when Olivia had lost control and slapped Vanessa, the billionaire's wife. But life had changed in ways neither woman could have expected. Today, Olivia stood in front of a crowd at a community hall. The room was bright, filled with people from all walks of life, women and men, young and old, who had come to hear her story. She was nervous, her palms sweating slightly, but her heart was full. Vanessa sat in the front row, her presence calm and strong. She watched Olivia with pride. This was the moment Olivia had worked for, a moment to show that even the darkest mistakes could lead to the brightest changes. Olivia took a deep breath and began to speak. I was angry and hurt, she said honestly. I made a big mistake and I hurt someone I did not mean to hurt. But that moment changed my life. She paused, looking around the room at the faces, listening carefully. It was Vanessa who showed me mercy when I expected anger. She gave me a chance to heal, to learn, and to grow. Because of her kindness, I found hope again. The audience was silent for a moment, then soft applause began. Olivia smiled, feeling the warmth of their support. After the event, many people came forward to speak with Olivia. They shared their own stories of pain and hope, thanking her for her honesty and courage. One young woman, tears in her eyes, said, Your story gave me the strength to forgive myself. Thank you, Olivia nodded, her own eyes moist. Forgiveness is the beginning of healing, she replied. Vanessa approached, joining the circle. She wrapped an arm around Olivia's shoulder. You have done something wonderful, Vanessa said. Not just for yourself, but for everyone who hears your story. Olivia looked up, her gratitude shining. I couldn't have done this without you. Vanessa smiled softly. We all need someone to believe in us. The journey had not been easy. There were still difficult days, moments when old fears and doubts crept in. But Olivia had learned to face those moments with strength. She found joy in small things, teaching children at the community center, helping women at the foundation, and building friendships she never thought possible. Vanessa, too, had grown. The experience had deepened her understanding of compassion and power. She continued to support causes that helped others, using her influence not just for business but for kindness. Their friendship had become a symbol of hope in the city, a reminder that even in conflict, there can be mercy, understanding, and change. One afternoon, Olivia received an unexpected visit. It was her former fiancé, the man she had once loved and lost. He looked older, tired, but his eyes held regret. "I've heard about what you've been doing," he said softly. "I'm sorry for the pain I caused you." Olivia looked at him calmly. "The past is behind us," she replied. "I'm focused on my future now." He nodded, then smiled. "I'm proud of you." They parted with respect and peace. Life moved forward, and Olivia and Vanessa continued their work together. They launched new programs at the foundation, helping more women find education and jobs. They spoke at events, shared their stories, and inspired many. One evening, as the sun set over the city, Olivia and Vanessa sat on a rooftop garden, looking out at the sparkling lights. "It's amazing how life changes," Olivia said. Vanessa nodded. "Sometimes our biggest mistakes lead us to our greatest strengths." Olivia smiled. "Thank you for giving me mercy when I needed it most." Vanessa took Olivia's hand. "And thank you for choosing to change." They sat in comfortable silence, two women united by forgiveness, strength, and hope.